Hi guys, welcome to a new video from Grad. Today I have a special guest for you, Yash Dubal. He is a director at AY&J Solicitors. You probably seen him talking about a new skilled worker visa route in my previous video. And since it's been such a success and we received amazing feedback, I was lucky enough to invite Yash to this channel again to speak about the post-study work visa, because he and his team has a lot of knowledge to share. And who wouldn't be the best person to speak about new rules than a solicitor, a firm that knows and does visa applications, I assume daily or weekly, and has a lot of knowledge, more than I would do in my career space. So the topic of today's video is post-study work visa, and we will talk about various questions that might bother you guys as international students. So Yash, hello, thank you so much for being here. Really glad.
Pleasure inviting. Thanks for bringing me over again. I'm happy to share my expertise, experience, and knowledge with you, Valeria, on your YouTube channel.
Thank you, Yash. For those that don't know me, I'm Valeria from Grad. I'm a career consultant and education consultant for international students in the UK. And recently, just the beginning of March, we received amazing news. Finally, the government has confirmed that effective 1st of July, 2021, students that graduated from university in the UK and that still have eligible valid student visa, they can apply for post-study work visa, which is called Graduate Rote. And it's an amazing opportunity. You can either stay for 2 years after you graduate if you've done undergraduate or postgraduate master's course, or for 3 years if you have done a PhD. And that's just an introduction of this amazing route or visa, and we'll go in more detailed questions. And I did prepare a lot of questions for you, Yash. I'm sorry about that.
Perfect, no worries.
Okay, so the first question I probably would ask you, what have my clients have been asking me, Valeria, I want to apply soon. I know that still there is no policy, there is no guidance, but since you have quite a few years of experience in the immigration sector, how would you say, what is your expectation of documents that will be required in order to apply for this graduate route this summer?
Sure. So far, we have received statement of changes, and based on that, my best guess is all you need is your passport, biometric residence permit, and a course completion certificate. So course completion certificate will be communicated from the institute directly to the home office. That's what the provision as of now. We are yet to receive much more detailed guidance, but my best guess is, the university will or the institute will notify the home office through their SMS sponsorship management system that specific students has completed their course, and that will probably just help the home office understand that they do qualify for graduate route, and probably they might not even need to provide any document to that, because it would be all online, automatic, and electronic. But let's say if that was not to be in place, then just the course completion certificate and biometric residence permit and passport, that's likely the document I would expect home office to ask at the time of application submission. There is no maintenance requirement as far as I'm aware. So no need to worry about maintaining XYZ funds in your bank account for 90 days or 28 days. I think so it's a big relief for students. It was kind of a pain last time in post-study visa, but it's not there this time. So good news.
Great, thank you. You clarified my worries as well, because I know for students, it's not that easy to accumulate funds for a long time in an account, especially when you're not working full time. Okay, so still there'll be costs. I'm sure that it's not going to be free. And from what I have read, do you have the exact numbers of how much it will cost? And any extra fees that a student might have to pay if they want to transfer to this route?
Sure. So the home office fees is £700 for this application. In addition to that, they need to pay £624 per year for immigration health surcharge. So that's the cost of the visa application.
Right, thank you. So it's not free. Unfortunately, you have to be prepared at least to pay some of the fees or all the fees that are required. So be planning your finances in advance if you want to switch to this visa.
Yes, so they need to pay everything up front. Yes, 624. Let's say if they are applying for 2 years, so it's 624 into 2, about 1248 plus 700. 1948. So that's the cost of 2 years of graduate route visa you need to pay at the time of application.
Yeah.
About 1948. Yes, that's the cost for 2 years.
If the student is successful, they acquire this visa, what are their rights in the UK? Which kind of jobs they can do? Can they get part-time jobs, full-time jobs? Can they get permanent jobs in the UK? What are the rules around there, if you know so far?
Absolutely. Based on the previous post-study visa route and based on the statement of changes from the Home Office, graduate route will allow you to work literally in any job. You can take any job, full-time, part-time, permanent, not permanent. You can do any business, work as a self-employed consultant, or run your own company if you want. So it's very flexible visa category in terms of working rights. What you cannot do is you cannot work as a sports person. That's the only restriction I could see. Apart from it, there is no restriction as such.
Right, that makes sense. Just a follow-up question quickly. So if someone hires you, they would have to give you a contract for 2 years maximum, or it couldn't be a permanent contract. Do you know anything like that?
Oh, it can be permanent contract. I mean, onus is on employer to ensure the employee has right to work all the time. So let's say someone is on 2 years graduate route visa, and then if they are being offered a permanent job role at the end of 2 years, then employer has to ensure that they have continuous right to work. So I don't see any trouble of student who would be on graduate route to take the permanent job role.
Okay, that makes sense. That's good to clarify, because sometimes I was confused to which kind of contract would be offered to someone who doesn't have a tier 2 visa or a skilled worker visa. Okay, so what is the eligibility criteria except graduating from the university in the UK with a degree? Is there anything else that the student must have in order to apply for this visa? Any hidden eligibility criteria?
Yes, one thing I've just had an observation of is, of course, in addition to completion of the course, they should have stayed in the and spent time in the UK, which is up to 12 months. If the course is more than 12 months, they should have spent at least 12 months in the UK. If it's less than 12 months, they should have spent the entire length of their course in the UK. But yes, there are some concession around COVID situation. Of course, I can't cover everything in this short video, but there is specific date as to what date they should have entered the UK to qualify for graduate route. If they have enrolled themselves and they are about to qualify in this graduate route from 1st July, there are some concession around being in the UK. So that's one more good news I want to add. We can probably publish this on our website, or probably I'll send it off to you these dates, and then you can put it on this description section of the blog or the YouTube for the audience benefit.
Right. Yeah, that would be great. I think a lot of people are expecting to be on this visa, but they're not currently in the UK. And I think they need to be very careful because these dates change. I assume they have changed recently, but they're going to be strict at some point, and you don't want to miss this opportunity just because you haven't entered. So yeah, and a follow-up question from that would be, I guess, I know that some students graduate before 1st of July. So anyone who started a bit earlier, and they would still have valid student visa as of July or August, but they would already graduated. Would they be eligible? Because it's not that clear so far for me personally.
Very good question. Because earlier it was like, if you would have completed your course in summer 2021, you will qualify. Now, when I looked at the statement of change, the way it has been drafted, if as long as you have student visa or tier 4 visa valid on 1st July 2021, and if you have completed your relevant course, whatever the course qualifies for, bachelor's, master's, or PG, DCE, or postgraduate diploma in education, or LPC, something like that, if you have completed that, then you will qualify and you can apply for graduate route. So all you need is a valid student status on the date of application, starting from 1st July 2021, and the course completion for the relevant course. And that's all.
That's great. So I think a lot of students that they didn't expect to benefit from this might be benefiting, and you shouldn't worry that you graduated, let's say May or June, you might still be eligible. So that's great news. And the bad news, who would you say is definitely not going to be eligible in 1st of July? So which students would never be able to get, unfortunately, this route. I'm not trying to be negative, but it's good to know as well if you don't qualify, so you can think of other options.
Yeah, sure. So if you would have benefited with similar route previously, there is a doctor extension scheme for PhD student, DES, which is kind of a post-study visa. If you have been benefited with that previously, you would not qualify for graduate route this time. If you were benefited with post-study visa previously, you won't, most likely.
Okay.
So if you are benefited already with this route, you won't qualify. That's number one. Number two is there are some professional qualifications such as ACCA might not be covered within this graduate route. That's all I can think of.
And I assume if your visa expires anytime before 1st of July, that's it. You are not going to be eligible. But we have to be strict with telling the audience that, right? There is no chance, because my students, sometimes my students and my audience would say, but Valeria, it expires in June. Because of COVID, it's so hard. But I think the government has to draw the line somewhere, right? So if you don't have a valid student visa, on 1st of July. That's it, right? You would not qualify for this route, I assume.
Yeah, absolutely right. So the legal answer is no. You have to have a valid student status, tier 4 status on the date of application starting from 1st July 2021. What if you are on 25th of June, your visa is expiring 25th of June or 15th of June, you will cry. I mean, I would encourage those audience to reach out to us. We will. The idea is, and I'm happy to share this idea. I mean, if you submit an application before your visa was to expire, technically your current status will be continued up until you get the decision on your on the application you are submitting on the date of application. So let's say your visa is expiring on 15th of June 2021. You are just 15 days short of getting into this graduate route visa. If you submit an application on 15th June, any immigration application, your previous status, which is student or tier 4, will be continued up until you get the decision on that specific application. That is called section 3C. Now, if you then switch that, let's say, you reach somehow 1st of July and you switch that into graduate route, then you would meet the requirement of having valid status under section 3C because your previous status will be continued. Now, this is a very innovative solution to those who might suffer. And, this might cost probably £300 plus VAT in my advice in 60 minutes consultation, but it's free on your YouTube channel. I'm sure the audience will appreciate this. By having said that, you are also bound not to make frivolous application, which doesn't have any basis. And this is where, this is again immigration rule I'm talking about as a lawyer. While we are happy to share innovative solution, but at the same time, we cannot abuse the system. And that's called a frivolous application, which has no basis. If you do that, that might draw a bad immigration history or some negative consequences. And for that reason, Valeria, I would invite the audience or potential inquiries to reach out to us. They can visit our website or our YouTube channel, contact us, and then we will provide them a professional legal advice as to how they can overcome this obstacle. And again, it's just a 15 days, 20 days, or maybe 3-4 weeks. And if they lose out on this beautiful 2 years worth, freedom of right to work, that would be pain. And I can imagine that, and happy to help those who are in trouble.
Yes, thank you, Yash. I will leave you a link to your YouTube channel and to your website in the description of this video. I do recommend reaching out to professionals if you need any immigration help, especially if it is something extraordinary, when you need extensions or you need to make a case to an immigration team. It's better to get professional help if you don't have a chance to get it wrong and be banned from the UK or lose money or violate the law. So yeah, I do always say work with professionals, and I'm glad that Yash is here giving free advice. So if you are successful in your application and you get the post-study work visa, graduate route, how it should be called, but we do say PSW in the conversational word. What can you do once you get this visa? Assume you don't want to return back home and you want to switch to another route. Obviously, after 2 years, you can't continue on the same graduate route. You have to find a new route. So what are your options if you want to switch within the UK, and when can you switch? Because some people assume it's only after 2 years. Could you clarify that, please?
Sure, sure. So you can switch your immigration category at any point of time, literally any point of time throughout your visa. Of course, make sure you sort out your visas before it was to expire. You can't do anything beyond that. The category you most likely could switch is a skilled worker visa. So let's say you find an employer, you build up a rapport with them. They are very keen. They like your work. They like you as a good employee. The best thing you can request and ask for is skilled worker visa. The employer can easily get the sponsor license. We have been helping hundreds of employers getting sponsor license day in, day out. We are very successful. Get the sponsor license for the employer, get on skilled worker visa, switch. That's the most easy, a straightforward option I could think of for graduate route candidates. Number two is startup visa, innovator visa. If you get an endorsement from the relevant endorsing body, I hope it's quite kind of famous categories. Sole representative visa, if you fit into it. There are plenty of videos on my YouTube channel, what it is, detail, eligibility, etc., etc. Sole representative visa is also good. Global talent visa, another one. Little bit higher requirement. You have to have this eligibility criteria met if you want to apply for one. Spouse visa, if you are in relationship, spouse or partner visa, you can think of that too. Anything else? I can't think of anything as of now, but that's the few routes I could think of. Yes.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of options for someone that plans in advance, right? It's the key is plan in advance, think what your options are, know what your options are, and if you're not sure, then get professional help. Okay, so on the topic of getting professional help, uh, I just want to make sure that I do advertise a lot what I do, but if someone needed help, what does you and your team can help with in terms of this type of visa or any other routes for students in the UK?
Sure. So we are 10 plus years experience, multi-award winning legal 500 specialized UK immigration law firm. We have sold 4,000 plus client, and we have 1,000 plus reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and specialized in just UK immigration, can help any UK immigration inquiries from start till end, provide complete handholding support, or as much as they want. They can reach out to us on our website, which is AY&JSolicitors.com, or you can search on YouTube, AY&J Solicitors. You'll find YouTube channel there as well. That's the best way to reach out to us, Valeria, and happy to help. If someone need help, we can do that. We offer bespoke consultation as well. We charge 300 plus VAT up to 60 minutes. And we can then provide a fixed fees quote for the further subsequent work if there is any. And it's fixed fees, so it doesn't go up, doesn't go down. You can contact us unlimited time. We don't watch the clock, so you don't need to worry about sending us email. We all use WhatsApp these days, so it's fast response. Yeah, I have a great team I'm very proud of and happy to help. Yes, thank you, Valeria.
Thank you. So it's nice to have point of contact you can go to in case you really need an immigration help. In terms of PSW, I want to return back to that topic or graduate route. I know last time we finished more on a philosophical note, so I kind of want to do the same here. In your personal opinion, from your business owner in the UK and your immigration expert, what are the pros and cons or disadvantages and advantages of this visa? And yeah, I would like to hear from you. Maybe I can add something as well.
Sure. So the benefit of graduate route is unrestricted right to work. There is no restriction of taking full-time, part-time. You don't need to get into specific area of the job. So let's say if you are in technology, you can even take non-technical job. So that's freedom of work is great, except working as a sports person. That's brilliant. You can even run business. That's again nice. If you have plan of switching into innovator visa, startup visa, you can start working on it. So that freedom of work for 2 years, you don't need to notify the home office of change of employer. You can keep changing employer as and when you want. So that's again a freedom. In skilled worker visa, you need another sponsorship, inform the home office of change of sponsorship, where in graduate route, you can move employer without notifying the home office. So that's the beautiful advantage of the visa. You don't need to provide maintenance document, easy. So I think getting a graduate entrepreneur visa, a graduate route visa is also easier. So that's another benefit. So these are the benefit I can think of. The downside of it is, of course, you need to switch. You need to make sure that you switch into a different category by the time it was to complete. So that keeps you on your toe by the time it's finished. Let's say 2 years time or 3 years time. That's downside. Number two is you cannot add dependents after you get a graduate route visa. You can't invite dependents from overseas. If they are already in the UK, then of course they can continue as dependent. I think that's strange. It's something different. I haven't seen this rule
Mm.
before, but it's there already announced that you cannot invite dependent while you are on graduate route visa. So if they are already in the UK, it's fine. So student dependent's wife or probably spouse, vice versa, they can continue as dependent, but you cannot invite. So that is interesting downside of a graduate route visa. These are the pros and cons I can think of. But if you want to add anything which is probably on top of your head, something was going on here. Let me just have a quick look. What am I missing here? There is something I've just missed. And yeah, very important for someone who want to switch into skill worker visa. This is a very big benefit. If you are switching from graduate route to skill worker visa, you will qualify for new entrant salary, which is about
That's
20,800,
great.
which will be more economical for the employer to be motivated to sponsor you. So I think that is also a biggest benefit. So when you switch from graduate route to skill worker, you qualify for new entrant salary, which is a lower threshold with compared to the normal threshold of salary for skill worker visa.
That's great points. I actually didn't know about that. I'm glad you shared with me. It's definitely means that you just have an extension to your student visa. So it really is really generous of the UK to offer that now. It is very flexible. It puts the stress away of finding a permanent route straight away after university, which is really stressful and sometimes expensive. So
One more
definitely,
downside I
yeah,
want to add is this doesn't lead to settlement. So you
yeah,
don't get
exactly.
settlement on this route. But what it is, one thing you want to make a note that this stay will be considered towards long residency. So let's say you have spent 8 years as a student in the UK and you are adding these 2 more years. So after 10 years of continuous lawful residence, you can apply for long residency, which is settlement.
Wow, that's great. That's actually, someone asked me that and I didn't know what to answer. I know that it doesn't count towards PR, so you would still have to work for 5 years on skilled worker visa, for example, to qualify for PR. This 2 years would not count. But it's great to know that it does count towards your 9 years or 10 years of legal stay, which is great. Yeah, so I don't have anything else to add except that obviously you need to use this time wisely. I don't recommend not thinking of future plans or not wasting your time in some kind of jobs that don't lead to permanent career. Yes, of course, you can spend some time in part-time jobs or other opportunities, but do think about long-term routes, think about your long-term career goals. I don't recommend of being a student for another 2 years. It's more like an opportunity to really get things together if I'm talking from career perspective. Well, I want to really thank you, Yash, for giving such great advice, for giving us tips and professional information, because there is a lot of stuff online that we cannot confirm and lots of smart wording, policy writings that it's hard to understand for lay people like us or students. So I'm really glad I know that you charge a lot for your hour and you kindly sharing this information with us. I remind you guys that in description of this video we have a YouTube channel, Yash's YouTube channel, where you can definitely subscribe, watch more professional advice, and do reach out to them on the website. It's in the description of this video. And I will see you again in the next video. If you have any questions, do let us know in the comments. I know that Yash sometimes replies as well to comments. Well, thank you, Yash. And if you have anything to add, let me know.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Valeria, for inviting. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.